my idea to fly us out to Yosemite and go climbing after we watched Free Solo, so I didn't want you to think, you know, that was a bad idea. I wanted to go back to Yosemite for a long time, but I don't think I would have insisted that we have rock climbing as one of our activities, but for watching that film together just maybe 2 months before we went, 2 or 3 months.
And I valued it so highly because we've seen so many parks, and you go and you look and you get excited and you take photos, but you don't actually hug them very often. And I said that at Rocky Mountain, like I've never wanted to hug a landscape before, but that was how I felt. And this, we were hugging it, and made me happy.
Once we got there, I was like super excited, pumped up, ready to go. And our instructor, he asked like who wants to rappel first, and I like kind of jumped up and yelled, "Me, I want to go." It was a lot scarier, and like I was super tense because you're standing on the edge of a cliff in a harness with a rope, and it's only up to you and whoever's, I think, belaying you, right?
Of course, we let the guide belay the children intermittently, but I also thought it was good that we had them serve as belays for one another.
Yeah, and especially the youngest, because she got to the top and decided she didn't love that experience, but she was very content to be at the bottom, helping her brother and sister come down. So she was engaged and active, even though she wasn't on the wall.
I feel like I wanted to go to kind of get it over with because it seemed really scary to go backwards, but at the same time, I didn't want to go. It seemed a lot higher than it really was when he told us we were about to rappel that. I was standing there and I was about to go backwards, and it felt like you were going backwards and you thought it wouldn't be that bad, and then there's one point when you're right on the ledge and you're about to like go down and be on the side of the rock, and I got really scared there, and I went back and I started crying because it was really, really scary. I didn't like that feeling. It felt like it was a stupid idea to go backwards on the side of a rock. It felt like you were about to fall down.
I mean, I don't like heights, but I never felt like I was up super high. You're so busy clinging to the wall. You know, like the scale of the vertical kind of disappears a little bit, and I didn't expect that. It's so much about the detail of where you're putting your fingers and your toes and how much you're sticking to the wall. That heights really wasn't a factor for me.
Yeah. I will say climbing up and having you belay me made me a little uneasy because I probably outweigh you by 40, 50 pounds. And so I was thinking, you know, will it matter that there's a big weight difference? You know, or does the pulley, you know, I was trying to think back to high school physics. Will this take care of it?
Which simple machine will save my life today?
Correct, yeah.
I've gone rock climbing before at a friend's birthday party, but that was like indoor, and I thought it would be like that, but more like outdoorsy and stuff. After seeing Free Solo, I mostly did things like, that's insane, I can't do that. I was wondering like what we were doing, and they said we were rappelling, and I was very confused. And then you went down, and I got very scared. But I definitely did learn more like to trust your own body, because he brought us this big boulder, and so we had to crawl over that like boop, 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 boop. And he said you have to like trust that your legs are gonna hold you up and that your arms can help steady you. And you wanna go mostly on your legs, even though it feels more scary. You just have to know like they can hold me up, like, you know, our body is super amazing, like we can do this.
We love going to national parks. Most of them have some great hiking trails, and we love doing that. But to me, Yosemite, like climbing is the activity you do at Yosemite, and there are other parks that have climbing as an aspect of their recreational programs, but Yosemite is famous. That's why they made a movie about climbing, you know. El Capitan at Yosemite is just an amazing thing. And when I went 20 years ago, that's one of my very vivid memories, was looking at either El Cap or Half Dome or maybe both, and seeing little specks going up, and like early in the morning seeing little hammocks where they would sleep, you know,
Oh,
while,
right.
yeah, because it's a multiple day venture apparently if you're climbing with ropes and not, you know, super fast. And just the thought of what that would be like. Yeah, I think I was more nervous for how Oliver felt about himself and his own level of confidence, because I knew the guide wasn't going to let him crash to his death. I just wanted him to be able to succeed and be able to make it down and feel like he was doing a good job and succeeding at that.
It was the last thing we booked and the first thing we did.
I really enjoyed it. Once we started climbing up, I thought, what a great way to enjoy natural beauty in a national park, but, you know, to have your fingers and toes plastered to it. You ready to free solo now?
No, I am not. But I was really ready to go rock climbing again really soon after, and that's exciting. And part of the conversation as we're eating dinner was, when can we do this again?
Yeah, that's true. And our guide had gone to undergrad at Clemson, which is not that far from Atlanta, and was telling us about hikes in North Georgia that he'd gone to that are state parks, or even a nice indoor climb facility outside Atlanta. That, so yeah, it's like we were making our plans for the future, and you know, they wanted to go to the nearest outdoorsy store and check out ropes and shoes and all that type of stuff.
If I went again, I think during rappelling, instead of being afraid of the spot where it feels like you shouldn't be doing it, I could just get over it and go to the bottom and rappel, so that I would be able to really enjoy when I was going up and coming down, and instead of like crying and stuff and being afraid, it would be more enjoyable and I would get to try more things.
I went when I was in my low 20s, but going, you know, as a dad and older, and having watched the movie was so much more meaningful, and
Yeah.
it just felt like a wonderful way to enjoy that national park.